Jack was just mentioning you are always, always, always welcome to be part of Dirty Secrets, a small business show. And there's a lot of ways to get a hold of us. The most direct and best way is when we're here live in the studio from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. You do that by giving us a call, 440-946-9468. Again, 440-946-WINT. You can also get us via email, radio@maximumvp.com. We also have this little thing called Twitter out there. It's at MaximumVP. That's our handle. I think that's a proper phrase, our handle. It sounds
like a
very modern and techie, right?
A CD. So what do they call those on the road? Truckers.
Truckers.
Wasn't it CD?
Oh, the CBs. CB, yeah. CB as in boy, not D as in David, right?
CB, Citizen Band Radio, right? That's what it stood for. Or
Might
stands
be.
for.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have different, things become popular again. They were retro, they were old, now all of a sudden they're new again. So you get Twitter out there, and all of a sudden handles come back, right?
That's right.
But there's lots of ways to get a hold of us to be part of the show. And as Jack mentioned, part of our focus here of Dirty Secrets of Small Business is to share a lot of stories that we've got. As Jack gave you a couple of examples of types of clients we've had. They typically are smaller companies. And we define that small as anywhere from usually 1 to 25 employees. The industry, the product, the service is pretty much irrelevant from our standpoints because we aren't giving guidance on that. We're sitting down this morning with a high-tech company. Okay, Jack and I are not high-tech guys. We use technology like many of you do, but we are not experts when it comes to that product or service. But the business stuff is stuff that we are experts in. How do you find good people to bring into your company? How do you grow? How do you market the company to grow? How do you make money on purpose? How do you develop as a leader? How do you know when the cash is tight versus cash is going to be good? All the good things in terms of presenting your company. Where are you trying to go with your company? We help with all those things as it relates to running your company. So the owners are the ones that we tend to work with most. Have a lot of fun with that. And we're here to share not only our 15 years together of experience of coaching these owners of small companies, but both Jack and I have quite a bit of experience before then as well, which also includes some time with big corporate America. So we understand how that side looks at things as well and can relate to that. But we absolutely love the owners of small companies. That's what we love to spend time with.
Love's the proper word, because that's really, we love what they do. We love what they stand for. They make America great. There's 25 million, arguably, small businesses in this country, and they are absolutely the fabric. And it hurts us when we see the abuse that often is thrown at small businesses. But that's neither here nor there at this point. We coach. We have a program that we've developed over our 15 years that if you stay with it as a small business owner, you will be successful. What's success again, Adam?
Growing sustainable profits.
That's correct.
And if you have those, your company is going to be successful. You can do everything that you want to do with your company. Whether it be putting all the money in your pocket, whether it be dispersing it to your team and your employees, whether it be doing and giving back in the community, whatever floats your boat in terms of what you're trying to do. If you have growing and sustainable profits, it gives you that flexibility to be able to do that. So, as Jack mentioned earlier, what we try to do is focus on getting folks unstuck. So whether you're an owner of a company or you know owners of companies, whether you're first starting out or you've been in business for decades, chances are you're stuck somewhere today.
Somewhere, right.
So we like to help get people unstuck from those things. And so we have a lot of how questions that people will ask us day to day. It's nonstop. I have one this week that I wanted to kind of bring up, Jack. That's been a common theme for us lately, and I want to kind of share a few stories about that and give some guidance to the folks who are listening out there about ways to maybe handle some of this stuff. So, all right, here's my how question. How do you deal with a family member who doesn't quite fit?
Oh, boy.
Now,
that's a good question. But we got a whole bunch of clients like that.
Well, people will ask, well, gee, is it a private business or is it a family business or is it okay? Well, pretty much every small company, again, it's private, so it tends to be a family business. What they usually mean by that, though, is is there family working at the business? Because a lot of companies do, and I'd say this is based on our experience. I'd say probably about half of the companies that we come in contact with have family there. So it could be spouses, siblings, kids, cousins, but usually, about 1 out of 2 times there's going to be some sort of other family member involved as part of the company. And we've seen it all. We've seen all those different kind of scenarios. And One of the early things, and again, for me growing up, as you know, Jack, and as many of our listeners know, I grew up with this. My parents worked together for 40 years.
That's so remarkable. That they not only stayed married but worked in the same company together for over 40 years.
I didn't realize it was remarkable to use that word. I thought it was just normal. I figured that's how things were. So when we had some of our early clients back in the early days of Maximum Value Partners, we had a couple of clients who were spouses, and to say I was amazed at how they treated each other, ran the business. I mean, walking in day one, just meeting these folks, they were literally in screaming match. Veins popping out of the foreheads.
Oh, yes.
And the topics that they're upset about had absolutely nothing to do with the business. It had to do with something that happened at home 3.5 years ago.
Isn't that something? And how true that is,
Yeah.
and how frequent that is. But it's what you get more often than not when you have family members working together in the business.
So most spouses weren't like my parents, where they're able to kind of keep and somewhat divide the business side from the personal side. Keep things professional during the day. They weren't bringing if there were issues or challenges or frustrations at home. They weren't bringing it to the office every day. They would cut that off, and during the day it was just about business. And they really realized a big challenge that we talked to many of our business owner clients about is you have to recognize your power as the owner. And things you do, things you say, carry a lot more weight being the boss. And so you don't have...
How does that show up? That shows up when the boss walks into a meeting. Instantly the conversation either stops or changes. Many people's body language changes. They start to sit up straight, and the whole tenor of the meeting changes. Even if the boss is a bit of a screw up, he's still the boss, or she's still the boss. And to Adam's point, the power that person has in that company is immense. It's supreme. Even with today's labor laws being what they are, and basically what that person, the boss, says goes, because he or she can make or break careers, give advancements, make life miserable for the employees. That's power. That's real power, and hopefully it isn't abused, but we also know many times it is.
So be very attuned to that. Think about that if you're an owner. Try to recall the last time you just walked into a room full of people at your company, and it was almost as if you didn't walk into the room. Like, people just kept on doing what they're doing when you walked in. Versus they stop, they turn and look to kind of notice you. It goes from being very loud talks to little whispers or giggles, or the absolute room just kind of stops. Everybody's staring at you, right? It's a very, very common thing. And all you were doing, maybe walking into that room, maybe it's in the kitchen. You're walking in the room to grab a cup of coffee or to grab a water or something like that. So being aware of your power, especially when it comes to how you deal with family. I got lots of stories I want to kind of get into tonight, Jack, in terms of different situations we've seen, because I know that the folks listening have either personally been through that or done that. Maybe they don't recognize it, but I want to help them recognize that, or maybe they're involved with a company that's happening.
Almost everyone, yeah.
And let them know, here's some ideas of what you can do about that. So stay tuned. When we come back from break, we're going to start talking more about that in terms of how do you deal with a family member who doesn't quite fit in the business. I'm Adam